Just adding some gloss gel to the inside of this book. Working on. And these are the other two I'm still working on. This is the inside of this one here. Don't want to get any paint on that. This is the inside of this one. Yeah, these are super cute. Oh, I added him the other day. Where did he go? A little bird. So I'm going to let this dry, and I still have to put some of the gloss gel in the middle. The paint is still a little bit wet, so I'll wait for that to dry. I want to make another one of these. It's a cute little book with a magnet. And you can see the magnet. I didn't want to hide it. Some really thick shipping paper and small pieces of paper and a fabric spine. So let me get the supplies for that. There we go. Let's make a pocket on the inside here. I think I'll keep this one as the front. So this pocket is just made with cardstock and it's glued in. Lots of different options, but I'm going to try to just find what I need in this box. I think we'll go with this. We can cut the corners. Maybe trim this down a bit. Let's make it this way instead. That looks good. Aleene's tacky glue. Always a good choice. Okay, I'll let that dry. And we'll move on to the second part. This is the easy part. We'll just grab a few papers and we'll sew them at the top. And I just rip the pieces. Let's see if they're straight on top. Yeah, I did cut them. So we'll just keep adding. These are good for collage too. So you can have 2 of those. A little bit of white, coffee dyed. That one's cute. That one's nice too. Fold that one in half. Rip it. Check the tops again. This one's not quite at the top or even. Push that one up a bit. The rest seem okay. So 1 sewing line, and then I grab the cover and I sew again so it'll not come apart. So that's how it's going to sit. So the back of the book has a piece of thick cardstock and I sewed it to the back. So if you look under the papers, you can see the sewing lines there. So that's what we need, a piece of these, or this rather, and a magnet. So I found a strip of paper, shipping paper, and I'll use that. And it's about so wide. So I'm going to put it here. Fold this over. And then like that. And we can adjust this and rip off what we don't need. So I'm going to go ahead and sew that. Ideally, this should have been done before I put that on, but this is easily moved out of the way. So here's our magnets. So I sewed the back. And I just pushed that up, sewed it down. Now we're going to close it like that. And I think I might rip a little bit off the edge here. This is really easy. There are different ways that people hide the magnets, and that's really nice in fancy journals. But I find that it takes a really strong magnet for that, and I only want a small one. So, and I like the rustic look of just taping it on. Instead of just using this tape, you can use your alcohol ink and make it brown. Let's do that on the other one. So this one goes here. You see right there. Cut a little bit of that tape off. I like to burnish it down. Make sure it's not going anywhere. Take your other magnet, put it on there. I like to take some kind of a marker, very light marker, and make a little dot on your magnet. And then push down, and the ink will obviously transfer to that. So that's where you want your magnet. So you're going to grab a piece of tape like that, and I'm going to put some alcohol ink on here. I'm going to let that dry. It'll only take a second. Okay, when it's dry, take it off. Take your magnet, put the tape underneath it, and put it back on your magnet. Oops, like that. Then when we fold it over, I could have made it a little bit better. Hang on. You can always move it. There. So don't worry if that piece of paint disappears, because we already have it there. And then when you fold it over, check and see just to make sure. Yeah. You fold it over, push around the magnet, let go. And because I like a rustic look, I'm going to add another piece of tape. And just for more security, because I think this alcohol ink, I believe it does penetrate the clear tape somewhat, just enough that it's not as strong as if you were just to use the regular tape. But I like that look. There. And it closes. Cool. And there you go. Might have to re-glue that. I didn't clamp it down, so I can do that later. And then you can grab different pieces of paper. You can keep this as your brown paper, your coffee dyed paper, or you can take this section and you can put like a colored paper in there if you want. Or you can put ribbon in there. It doesn't matter what it is. You can put little pieces of map or whatever you wish. It's just really cute. It accompanies other larger journals. So if you're selling those, this is really cute to add. I'm just going to take some of the threads off. You can make it a lot more colorful than what I'm doing here. But when I walked over to my fabric stash, this was the first fabric I saw. This is an old, the sleeve of a shirt, and I had coffee dyed it. Just a light coffee dye here, a little bit darker there. But anyway, isn't that cute? Tape on my fingers. I love it. You can paint the outside, you can doodle. Thanks for watching.